Hello, and welcome back to the Desi Buzz Talk Show. I have with me today Miss Kalsum Choudhry. She's the author and illustrator of the book 18 Stories of Hope, Joy, and Endless Faith, which was actually launched last year in December 2023. Welcome, Kalsum. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me here.
Mhm. Kalsum, could you tell us a little bit about um, your a little brief introduction about your journey. What are the things that inspired you to be, an author and an artist?
Mhm. The writing, I was my passion since I was very young. I used to write meaningful stories for the
Mhm,
kids, but I never published my work. But the
mhm,
inspiration for my art was when I was young. We visit to museums. You see the murals on the museum.
mhm,
Then there are the small flowers. They were painted on the museum walls. I like
mhm,
those, and the
mhm,
structure I was very inspired with. The reading was that my father used to ask whenever I love to read. I love to
mhm.
read thriller, especially
Oh,
I was
really?
hiding
Mhm,
sometime in my books, and one day my father caught me the reading during the exam.
mhm,
I believe I was in fourth or fifth grade, and he asked me, when you give reading your time, make sure it worth. You are
Make
reading
sure it's worth
something
it,
that
huh?
will be
Mm,
beneficial for you. And then
mhm,
he used to ask, what did you learn from that novel? And till this
mhm,
day, with me, he's in New Jersey, and I talk to him about the news or the things. So the from the childhood, they ask us to read something meaningful that
mhm,
encouraged me to write meaningful lessons
mhm,
in my stories. And as a child, as especially as a girl, when I was reading some novels, my mom used to say, "It's a fantasy world. Don't live in that." So my
mm,
writing style, I was inspired by being a realistic. So that's I still to this day. Sometimes I think that I choose to read, and that's how I was choosing to write.
That's interesting. What about your passion for the architectural design and and then the writing? How did those I guess those visits to the museum you talked about
Mhm.
the the what's on the walls, and what about were you looking at also the design of the building, or all of that? How did that
The
influence your career and your
Yeah, the
pursuits?
designs were like I used to wonder that why I was very young actually, Shabana. I
Hmm.
asked my teacher who were taking me to the museum that
Hmm.
why these were the only the own for the kings and queens, how they lived. And I was
Hmm.
asking so many questions, and my
Hmm.
teacher said, when you will grow up, why don't you build the buildings? Then you
Ah.
will know. So it stick to my mind that I was not getting my answers, and I asked
Hmm.
my dad one day, and he said that it does not matter which house you live in; it matters what
Hmm.
you do in it. So, but as
That's
growing up, I
very
was
good
in
advice.
eighth grade, and I
Hmm.
decided that I would do either chartered accountant or I would do architectural engineering, but not the engineering because I didn't like the math much, so I
Hmm.
decided to do the design. So that was
Hmm.
my passion, and I want to bring the grand structure or small things from those historical buildings in the designs that we can afford or we it's easy for us. So something like that, it just really triggered me that I
Hmm.
just like the architectural design.
That's great. So your passion was to bring that, you don't have to be a king to live in a beautiful
Yeah.
home or to have art. You just wanted to make it accessible to more people, right? Yeah.
Accessible and with your personal design, whatever
Right.
somebody is asking. Somebody people like very historical,
Mm-hmm.
very colonial. Some people like it very just traditional homes, contemporary.
Mm-hmm.
So my passion was that whoever is my client, I would design according to their
Hmm.
liking, not
Yeah. It's a
the homes,
custom made
the
for them.
custom made. Sometimes
Hmm.
they're out of the people reach.
Hmm.
So
And
that
your
was my
writing,
thing.
and your creative process. Obviously, your faith is a very central role. Can you talk a little bit about how your faith has influenced your journey as the artist and a writer?
The Shabana faith was always there. As if you, it was always as growing up, the faith was a crucial part of our existence.
Mm-hmm.
As it has more to do with my grandparents, especially my grandma. She used to say, as long as you are alive, God is with you. So
Mm-hmm.
don't think that not with you. And I used to ask her, how can you say God is with me? And she said, I remember that look at your shadow. If you are standing, there is a sun. And so that means God is with you. But
Mm-hmm.
so when I was going through that grief period, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, grief never ends. But I thought that there is no shadow. Right now it's dark. So how come the God could be with me? And then I remember that God is always with you. We cannot see in the dark, but
Mm-hmm.
it's with us. That was the
Mm-hmm.
main faith.
Mm-hmm.
So that was always with my life, and that's how it is.
So you've spoken about trusting God and God's plan during any of your challenging times, and that's helped you overcome your any kind of hardships, um, and looking at everything through a more positive perspective. It seems.
Yes,
Yes. Uh huh.
because that's how I was taught since childhood. That look at the people who are suffering, or they are more in the more worse situation than you. And
Mm-hmm.
sometime I was looking at it. God will test you with
Mm-hmm.
things that He granted you, but then He will take it away from you. So
Mm-hmm.
in my mind, it is my test.
Yeah.
So let's see
In
how I just go through it.
how you go through this test.
Yeah.
In your book, The 18 Stories of Hope, Joy, and Endless Faith, you explore the themes through the lenses of animals and their experiences. So, what made you do it that way?
The animals were because when I was going through my memory lane, my visits to national park, and some small things that we came across, and we had pets too, and I like nature. I was going through memories of my son, that how we
Mm-hmm.
used to go or on the walk, what we used to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was sorting out the stuff that I need to give away, even on some T-shirts, there is the Disney shirts, that there is some animals, they were print there.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how I just picked up the animal themes, and I decided that through the animals I can choose my character to send more profound message rather than choosing a human character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Um, and writing obviously was therapeutic for you, especially for processing grief. So, as you did the writing, how did it help you navigate that, your loss?
Writing just gave me the time to
Mm-hmm.
think about the life ahead, how what I'm gonna do,
Mm-hmm.
and it was the wish for my son, from my son, that I should publish my work, and I just the writing was giving me to look at the broader picture. It
Mm-hmm.
did not help that I would overcome the grief, but it assists me to look at things more positive way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And as you wrote these stories that you've written there, although it may seem that it's only written for children's, it does appeal to adults too. And how do you try to do your writing so that you can resonate with both children and adults?
There are the people who read the book, there are some thinking points, because my
Mm-hmm.
mindset was that we read the story to the kids, and they just look at it and they think it's in the end it's everybody's happy. It's
Mm-hmm.
like a fantasy world, or it's imagination that
Mm-hmm.
things will be fine in the end. So
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to write something that would bring a realistic lesson in our life as an adult and as a children,
Mm-hmm.
as a child, because nowadays the kids are more on the iPads, they are more on the TikToks, The world has
Mm-hmm.
changed. That when I raised
Right.
my kids, so I wanted to bring some lessons in the stories that children are forced to ask what it is
Mm-hmm.
to their parents,
Mm-hmm.
and parents are forced to answer those questions, those
Mm-hmm.
curious questions coming out from their children or from their students. So I have some critical thinking points where the even sometime I force the parents or the as or sometimes to me as an adult to think about my life, where we are heading, is it okay or
Mm-hmm.
are we doing right? So those thinking points were for the adults and were opening points for the child curiosity. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how it became the a genre quite big that is for adults and children as well.
Mm-hmm. And the illustrations, can you tell us a little bit about how, again, you thought the idea you wanted to have the critical thinking points in there, the openings for discussion between children and adults, just a nice story of the animals for the younger kids, and then the talk about the illustrations. How did you did the illustrations yourself, correct?
Yeah, because the image of the cover of the book is the image of a wall mural that I painted in a daycare.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the that's how it becomes the illustration for my book, that I choose to, instead of having somebody to paint it for me. That's
Mm-hmm.
how, and I was always inspired by the nature, the scene, because it gives the kids to change the scenes. They can do the snow, they can stick some on the wall, some dried
Mm-hmm.
leaves during the fall season. Then they can decor for our holidays. Some I painted the mosque for the reading corner. We
Mm-hmm.
can decor it by the Ramadan theme or Eid al Adha theme. So
Mm-hmm.
when I was doing the murals, that was the inspiration that it will
Mm-hmm.
bring joy to someone's life, because
Yeah.
in the daycare kids spend lots of time. Sometimes it's very boring. So it's the real scenes that my painting style is, that I don't want to paint that looks like a fake.
Right.
So when they look at it looks real, it
Mm-hmm.
brings a smile on their faces, and teachers liked it too. So that was
Mm-hmm.
the passion behind illustration.
That's great. And you wanted to inspire them to just have faith in themselves and their own
Yes,
journey,
that
right?
is the main thing, that you have
Yeah.
faith in yourself, that you God granted you this life. It's not
Mhm.
to think about what is not in there or what we can't do. You can do
But
the wonders. Like that was
yeah,
my
exactly.
message, that you can
Celebrate
do
what you do have, what you can do.
anything. Sometimes the
Yeah.
kids used to call me painter is here, or sister who paints is here, and I was like, it's okay, but I'm not the painter only. So
Right.
with your gifts, I was taught from my parents that
Hmm.
you study for your degree, but the gifts you have, your passion for the hobbies, you can always use it for charity. So that's
That's
why
really beautiful. You had some
yeah,
really
that's
amazing
why I
lessons from your
never
parents.
yeah, I never just, even my kids have the good skills in the art. I said, you can just use the art for your charity projects, but have a
Mhm.
degree so you can just create a life of your own.
Right.
So that's
And
why I never did professionally the
mhm.
paintings or wall murals.
Mhm, mhm. But in your book, however, uh, has been recognized by several awards. The a Nautilus Award, it won the Purple Dragonfly Award for children's literature, and it's also a finalist for the American Writing Awards and International Impact Award. So, uh, in inspirational, it's even in the children's Christian category and the inspirational reading category. So that's all
Yeah.
quite impressive. How does it feel to have that recognition?
I feel so happy. But the most thing that touched my heart is that they gave it a children Christian category
Hmm.
as well.
Hmm.
It was when I started, I was quite skeptical about it, because some people asked me to add the verses from Bible, verses
Hmm.
from the Torah. I should bring all the religions together. But then
Hmm.
I was thinking, what about the people who don't believe any God? Like there are
Mhm.
atheists in our society. We
Mhm.
cannot look down on them as coming
Mhm.
from my religion.
Mhm.
So to refer only my ayahs from my verses. I can send a message that open the book of your own. But when
Mhm.
the children Christian certificate I got from International Impact, that made my day. I was so happy.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's because the Quran verses were there. I was thinking, should it would get recognition or not? But then I had faith, the same thing
Mhm.
on God, that no, it will get recognition.
Mm. What impact do you think or you hope that your book will have on the young readers and their families?
The book was, Shabana, to provide a platform where the families, when they read, they can find faith within their lives. So
Mhm.
that is my hope, and that is I am expecting that it would provide a good quality time to parents and children's and to caregivers, that they will drive the joy out of the lessons and they will think to implement in their personal life.
Mhm. And your as you mentioned, the some of the scenes in the book are paintings of murals that you've done, correct? And then you actually have murals also displayed in Kansas City.
Yeah, they are in Kansas City. One is usually they are in the non-profit organizations, like
Mhm.
where they cannot afford somebody to so much money to paint the scene close to real life.
Mhm.
So that's
Mhm.
how it is.
Hmm. Okay, and so like as you said, you're really living out your parents' advice about using some of those skills for charity, like for charitable causes. Your family's very involved as well in charitable causes. Tell us a little bit more about like how, again, the projects and the writing and the book projects are tied into these values and your love of serving charity.
The family, they just what my parents instilled in me, I transferred it to my kids. And when
Mm-hmm.
I was suffering, falling apart, or just going through tough time, I noticed that kids look at me with more curiosity, or they were more sensitive. So I was not expecting that. Then I thought, okay, maybe it's coming back to me, but the way I lived. So, and they were encouraging me. Few days when I was very down, they were
Mm-hmm.
uplifting me that, Mom, it's okay. You can do this. You can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
small gestures that I realized that this is something that I created in the
Mm-hmm.
last 30 years that is coming back to me. And there is nothing more greater joy in your life when your child or your children take care of you or give you an
Yeah.
advice where you think that they are little, they don't know what life is, but then you look at them and you are inspired. Oh, they are the good adults, the wise
Mm.
adults. Now they can tell me something that I didn't know. So that was the joy. That was
That's beautiful to
the
learn from your
good
children.
feeling
Yeah.
that that was the influence they got through me.
Yeah, and some of the what kind of charities have you has your book helped contribute to this year?
2024, the first proceed went to extension project of Muslim cemetery in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is a TCF USA, ICNA Relief
Mm-hmm.
USA. Then there's the Mikal and Rian Foundation that is also based in USA.
Mm-hmm.
Zamankar is incorporated. Its incorporation is in USA. They have orphanage in Pakistan in the very rural district where the kids do the
Mm-hmm.
Quran hifz, but also they want to provide a higher education and the
Mm-hmm.
Hunger Busters. So those were the charities they were uh,
Incredible. Yeah.
just included in the 2024. And in 2025, we are looking to just support them again.
Mm-hmm. And in your book, you have talked about you've given some really amazing quotes in your book. Again, like life lessons, advice, so like prayer and patience are powerful during tough times. What kind of Tell us a little bit about like a profound lesson that you have learned through your journey.
I learned in the last 5 years that I thought that when I started the book, that we have so much knowledge, or we were confident. But going through the years, I realized that we learned nothing.
Mm,
Basically, we are just survival mode. But one thing that I did, I look at the thing more with a realistic point of view, with
mhm,
more positive perspective, and the
mhm,
thing that our time, Shabana, is a treasure,
mm,
and we
yeah,
waste it, and we waste it without even knowing it, that we are wasting it. So now
yeah.
I take care of my time, that how I spend it,
Cherish
or
your
how
time.
I don't get depressed that I wasted yesterday, but the next day, what is coming tomorrow, I make sure that I have a plan, that I'm going to do these and these things with a positive mindset, and use availability of my time should be spent in some productive manners
Mhm.
that I'm lucky
That's
to have
right.
today. I don't know tomorrow I would have or not, but the time
Right.
and respecting our time is something that I really want to convey the message that we should all think about
Mhm.
it, and that's what I learned.
Mm, that's great. And what other advice would you give to those young people or other people who are aspiring to write a book, or, be an author, or especially those who want to write stories to uplift other people?
Mhm.
What kind of advice would you give to them?
I would tell them to set aside realistic goals. Don't be a writer that one day and one day you are not writing anything. Something that you do every day at a set schedule. Like if you uh, think that you are going to write after the morning prayer, then have 10 minutes of your time at 8 a.m., 7 a.m. If you want to write in the evening, have a set time every
Mhm.
day, not just a one day you are writing and one day you are not. That
Mm,
is a number
that's
one
right.
tip I would like
So write
to give
every
them.
day, no matter what. Just
Every day,
write
no matter what,
every
and
day.
on one and during one time frame.
Mhm. And set
So
aside a
you will
particular
just
time
see,
frame.
and consistency, you will realize how it comes. Your thought process is waiting for you, that you are going to sit. It's a subconscious mind that we are
Mhm.
rewiring our brain, that you are
Yes,
going to do at
training the
the set
mind.
time. Then other thing is that choose their goals, what things inspire them in their life. They should
Mhm.
start
Things that,
writing about that. Yeah.
So that's a good beginning to start, is for whatever is inspirational for them, and that comes from
For in
within, to
their
start
life,
writing that down.
instead of looking for the topics, they should look at their life deeply, and they how they can inspire and create a ripple effect towards other human beings. That
Mhm.
is a thing I would say, the people who want to write stories with meaningful lessons.
Yeah. And so you mentioned this, like how you create a ripple effect, as a parent also, and how do you encourage resilience in your children and people around you, positivity and resilience?
Actually, there is no, I wish there is a magic pill we can give it to the other people to
Hmm.
inspire resilience. But the thing I learned, that I focus on myself.
Very
I
good
watch
advice.
my word, that how if I'm being judgmental, sometimes as a parent we say something and that kids think that that's it. That's
Hmm.
how you are. So sometimes they take wrong idea of my
Hmm.
image, and then I deny that no, I did not said in that manners. But then I look at myself and judge my actions, how I proceed. So if
Hmm.
we just look, we are more profound in our choices, in our realistic goals, the way we deal with the world. The kids look at it, the people, your friends around you look at it, and that's
Hmm.
how you put impact on them. And resilience,
Hmm.
or whatever you are choosing,
Right.
you just try to practice on yourself.
What is up next for you? Do you have other writing projects coming up? Any other creative projects or big projects in the forecast?
Yeah, I would be working on my writing, and I am just looking at the more projects for my charitable cause, how I can come up with the writing workshops I give, painting workshops, and I was just thinking to talk. I just created to have a small grief talk with the
Mhm.
mothers who are grieving.
Mhm.
So that would be the few things I would be focusing on,
Mhm. And you
along
also
with the
are
writing.
offering
Yeah.
workshops as well?
Yeah, I do offer the writing workshop, and I offer the painting workshop.
Mhm.
I would be doing that more for the as a therapeutic for the grieving moms. I would be looking for, and would be
Mhm.
working on my writing the rest of the stories because I wrote 30 and I published only 18. I no 31.
Hmm.
So
Okay,
I
and
would.
those are you talk about your stories are going across geographic or cultural boundaries, right?
Yeah.
What is the message you want to give there in terms of people of
I
different
um,
background,
yeah,
universal?
I would just say that people can forget their differences,
Hmm.
forget their cultural background, and come to
Yeah.
a common ground where any mother they can realize that every mother go through the same feelings when you lose a
Hmm.
child or
Hmm.
you have the child in your hands. So, small messages of empathy, forgiveness. I hope that people can forget their cultural and religious backgrounds. That's where I'd say that open your book of faith. Every
Hmm.
faith, every religion tells humankind to do beautiful things. No
Hmm.
religion tells you to hurt or harm anybody else. It's just
Hmm.
our cultural and our ideology differences that create a world around us what we are living in right now. God
Hmm.
did not created that.
Yeah,
So that
that's
is
true.
the
But
message I hope that people can understand. And if they can't, I don't think that as an adult somebody can change their views, but we can try for our next generation, for our kids to come, so we can leave the world in better hands. At least we can try. The book is an effort.
right. So, what is like your final, let's say, message about the importance of faith and creativity in helping you with resilience and navigating life challenges? How
The
you marry
message
them?
is that our thing I just learned, and I look at the people around me that who are very strong in their and they're moving on with their very positive mindset, that they don't forget that one day we are going to live on this earth. We are not
Hmm.
here forever. And the time we are using, make sure that we are creating something that is useful for the other peoples to come. So it
Hmm.
gives us a good feelings about ourselves living in this world, and then
Hmm.
hereafter we are looking at something and opening our book of faith each day, every day, or just
Hmm.
something. If you don't believe on God, there are people atheists. They look at life where they are standing right now and
Hmm.
find the positivity around them to move forward, to do
Hmm.
wonders in their future life, in their future days. So that is my message I would like to give to my
That's
readers or whoever is watching that.
you. Thank you. That's beautiful. And now, again, your book, 18 Stories of Hope, Joy, and Endless Faith, it is available on Amazon, Barnes and
It's
Noble.
available, yeah. It's available on
Where else?
Amazon. It's available on Barnes and Noble. We are putting it the lower price from starting soon for till April 5th for the Eid and all the
Mhm.
holidays would be covering that time frame. But on my website, the signed copies on more discounted price.
Okay, so that's your website is
kalsumachowdhury.com.
kalsumachowdhury.com. Yeah.
Yes.
And so you said even signed copies are available and you're
Yes,
having
signed
your sale
copies.
all the way
And
through April.
yeah, hardcover is only available at my website, not the paperback, but we
Mhm.
gave it to the Ingram. It's globally everywhere people can order that.
Hmm. And your sale is from now through the holidays until after Eid and April,
April
right?
5th is the
Mhm.
sometime we will see if we want to extend it to till Eid al-Adha, we will do that. But April 5th,
Mhm.
by that time we are done with the Easter and other festivities, and it would be all proceed going to charities as well, 2025. So I
Mhm.
hope that we
Great.
can just get the word out there for the
Yes.
families that this book is there available on the more discounted price.
Mhm. Excellent. And I hope you have you're able to distribute and sell more copies of your book so you can continue to inspire other people, help them in their lives, and therefore also give back from the proceeds to the charity. So it's a win-win for everybody. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for spending the time to tell us about your book and your journey, and for the the work you're doing. I hope you continue to inspire and create, and um, hopefully there'll be more books coming, right?
Yeah, thank you so much, Shabana, for having me here, and I really
You're welcome.
appreciate. And thanks for the people who will be watching it and listening
Mhm,
it, and anybody who is contributing in this cause. Thank you so much.
mhm.
Have a blessed day.
Thank you.